involtini di pollo farciti con pesto di cavolo nero. Another one of those simple and comforting recipes, and that is chicken rollatini. But chicken rollatini sort of inside filled with the pesto. So let's make the pesto first. Certainly the processor is what will do that for you in no time. Some kale, some parsley, and garlic. Let me put that in there. And got it. Let's put some oil. Okay. Looks very good. Okay. To this, I will add some salt and some pecorino, grated pecorino, and, an abundant amount because this is what we're stuffing the chicken with. And you want good flavor? All right. The pesto is made. Now let's address the protein, the chicken. These are chicken breasts, nice sized chicken breasts. And all you want to sort of pound it so you get it into a nice piece of meat, not too thick, because we're gonna roll it. And to do that, I have here a little parchment paper. But if it's too thick also, just like that, what you can do is just butterfly it a little bit, just like that. So it kind of eases your pounding situation. So we butterflied it. I used the flat end. And when you're pounding, it's not about really breaking it up, but it's about kind of pushing a little bit to the side. So let's see. Okay. So you spread it all around. And let's roll it. I said I was gonna roll it this way, yeah. So let's start rolling this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. I'm gonna tuck it in on this side. I'm going to tuck it in on this side a little bit, just like that, so you see? And then I give it the last roll, just like that. Roll it around, and I'm here at the seam, and now I take the toothpick and kind of even pull a little bit the chicken and do the same on this side. Pluck it in and grab the bottom part, and here we are. And each one, and I'm looking, this one I think I'm gonna roll this way. A little bit here. Let me roll, roll, roll. Tuck it in. And let me seal here. Let me seal here. And let's seal it here. Okay, so, and let's just brown the chicken. Olive oil. And I'm gonna brown the chicken at a mild heat. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in the pan, and the butter kind of lowers the temperature, gives you a milder browning process. Roll it lightly in the flour, and the rolling in the flour will seal the deal, if you will. It will hold the chicken together. Shaking off excess flour. Here we are. Now let's turn the chicken. Let's see where we are. Okay. The chicken is going to be cooking in with the mushroom and some sauce. So it's not about cooking it at this point. It's just kind of getting it that nice brown finish. So I'm checking here. That looks good. And I will put sage. And this way, the heat right away kind of cracks the sage up and the flavors are really coming out. Let's put the mushrooms right in here. A little bit of oil. they will release their liquid, but in the meantime, you want to give them just a little lubrication. A little fresh pepper. So this is a dish that you could make ahead of time, but just don't finish cooking the chicken. In a sense, it should be cooked, but just not ready to serve. Because if you finish cooking the dish, when your guests come, you're just reheating it. What you want to do to a dish, you want to bring it almost to a finish. And then when your guests come, put it back on the fire and actually do finish, especially when you're talking about braising. Now, I will begin the sauce with some butter. I will put some wine now and put the wine on a hot pan like this. I always put the wine first. It deglazes the pot and the alcohol evaporates. Let me return the rollatini to the pan. Oops. I think I will put just a little bit more of butter. And now I will put the stock. And just enough stock to sort of cover the chicken halfway. I didn't salt much along the way, so some salt is due here. I will let this simmer. In about 10 minutes, it should be done. So let me clean up and we'll be back to enjoy. Pecorino, delicious. So when I was in Sardinia, I tasted so many. I was curious, how do they make their different cheeses? So I had them take me to their production site. And of course, pecorino is all sheep's milk, and the milk then is curdled with rennet, and the curds form. They cut them into cubes and then slide them into these forms. So that's the basic pecorino. Then it is aged. It could be aged 6 months, it could be 8 months, it could even go a year or so. So the intensity of the pecorino, the straightforward pecorino, changes with the time of aging. The chicken is done. I have removed one by one the toothpicks and put the chicken back in there. Let me remove the sage now. So it always helps to remember how many sage bunches you put in, how many toothpicks in each chicken, because when you pull them out, then it makes sense. You don't want to leave any toothpicks in there. Well, I think this is nice family style because, maybe people will take just half or one, and you just line them up like little soldiers. And you see how well they retain their shape, because once they begin to cook, they retain their shape. I think this one will stay on top like that. And you know what? This one is for Lidia. Absolutely. So I'm looking at this. This is the time that you look at your sauce to say, well, is it the density that I want? But we can let that cook away and spoon some of the mushrooms on top. Okay. Let's see. I think that looks great. Let me just make my dish beautiful. Now, time to mangiare. I'm gonna cut it in half. I want you to see how it looks inside. And I'm gonna go straight for the middle. And you can see how beautiful it looks. Let's begin from here. I want to tell you how it tastes. Mushrooms and chicken takes on flavors, but the inside, the kale, and then the cheese, the milkiness of the cheese, and the greenness of the kale is just delicious. Of course, sauteed mushrooms on top. And I'm gonna go through this dish and have a glass of wine. But, as I always say, tutti a tavola a mangiare. Come and join me.